have not time to say more than just this word. A due sense of serving the Lord would ennoble all our service beyond conception. Think of working for Him. For Him, the best of masters, before whom angels count it glory to bow. Work done for Him is in itself the best work that can be, for all that pleases Him must be pure and lovely, honest and of good report. Work for the Eternal Father and work for Jesus are works which are good and only good. To live for Jesus is to be swayed by the noblest of motives. To live for the incarnate God is to blend the love of God and the love of men in one passion. To live for the ever-living Christ is elevating to the soul, for its results will be most enduring. When all other work is dissolved, this shall abide. Men spake of painting for eternity, but we in very deed serve for eternity. Soon shall all worlds behold the nobility of the service of Christ, for it will bring with it the most blessed of all rewards. When men look back on what they have done for their fellows, how small is the recompense of a patriotic life. The world soon forgets its benefactors. Many and many a man has been borne aloft in youth amidst the applause of men, and then in his old age he has been left to starve into his grave. He who scattered gold at first begs pence at last. The world called him generous while he had something to give, and when he had bestowed all, it blamed his imprudence. He who lives for Jesus will never have ground of complaint concerning his Lord, for He forsaketh not His saints. Never man regretted aught he did for Jesus yet, save that he may regret that he has not done 10 times more. The Lord will not leave His old servants. O God, Thou hast taught me from my youth. And hitherto have I declared Thy wondrous works. Now also when I am old and grey-headed, O God, forsake me not. Such was the prayer of David, and he was confident of being heard. Such may be the confidence of every servant of Christ. He may go down to his grave untroubled. He may rise and enter the dread solemnities of the eternal world without a fear. For service for Christ creates heroes to whom fear is unknown. I close by saying that if we enter into the very spirit of this discourse, or even go beyond it, if henceforth we live for Jesus only, so as never to know pleasure apart from Him, nor to have treasure out of Him, nor honor but in His honor, nor success save in the progress of His kingdom, we shall even then have done no more than He deserves at our hands. For first, we are God's creatures. For whom should a creature live but for his Creator? Secondly, we are His new creatures. We are the twice-born of heaven. Should we not live for Him by whom we have been begotten for glory? As many as have believed in Jesus are the produce of that divine power which raised the Son of God from the dead. Shall they not live in newness of life? God has taken this pains with us, that He has made us twice over, and He has made a new heaven and a new earth for us to dwell in. Whom should we serve with all our mind but Him by whom we have been made anew? Then comes in redemption. We are not our own. We are bought with a price. We dare not be selfish. We may not put self in opposition to God. But I must go further. We may not allow self to be at all considered apart from God. Even when it seems that self and God might both be served at the same time, it must not be. Self in any degree will spoil all. We are never to be masters, but servants always, and to serve ourselves is to make ourselves masters. Turn thine eyes, O my heart, to the cross, and see him bleeding there whom heaven adored. He is the light of glory, the joy and bliss of perfect saints, and yet he dieth there in pangs unutterable, dieth for me. O bleeding heart, my name was engraven upon thee. O tortured brain, thy thoughts were all of me. O Christ, thou lovest me, and lovest me still, and that I should serve thee seemeth but natural. That I should pray to serve with intense white-hot enthusiasm is an impulse of my life. Do you not confess it so, my brethren? Besides, remember, you are one with Christ. Whom should the spouse serve but her husband? Whom should the hand serve but the head? It scarce is service. Christ is your alter ego, your other self. No, your very self. Should you not live for him? You are bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh, and therefore you must love him. Let a divine selfishness impel you to love your Lord. No hand, methinks, counts it hard to be serving his own head. Sure, it can be no hardness to do service to him with whom we are joined by bonds and bands of vital union. He is our head. We are his body in his fullness. Let us fill up his glory. Let us spread abroad the praises of his name. God help us to finish this sermon never, but to begin it now and go on preaching it in our lives, world without end. For heaven shall lie in this, not unto us, but to thy name be praised. And the beginnings of heaven are with us now, the youth, the dawn of glory in proportion, while we say from our very souls, whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's. And so shall it be henceforth and forever. And to those that know nothing of this, seeing they know not Christ, may the Lord bring them to believe in Jesus Christ this day, that they may, through his grace, become his servants. Amen and amen.